All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Valentine's Day episode of You Gotta Hear This. It is February 14th, and this is our 14th episode.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
How about that, What a thing.
It's a Valentine's Day miracle.
It really is. It really is. How are you guys enjoying your Valentine's Day so far?
Good. As you know, I love love, so
this is. I know that about you. You always say that.
Yeah, I'm like a real life Ava Brothers song.
It's been a good one. It's been a good Valentine's Day.
How's Sammy?
Oh my gosh, he's walking around here. Sammy, in case you don't know, is my cat and also my Valentine. So he's doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
How's Camille?
She's good. We haven't really done very much because it's 1 degree outside and snowing, and also there's a global pandemic happening. So we haven't done much. Global pandemic. Have you heard about this?
No, I'm gonna Google that after the show.
It's a whole thing, man. Look into it.
I don't know. Sounds like a liberal conspiracy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
Sounds like something Bill Gates would come up with.
Yeah.
I'm sure President Trump is dealing with it just fine. What? Why is that funny?
I got some other news for you. We'll talk about it after.
Okay. Okay, cool.
At least you have a cool charcuterie board to eat all your snacks on.
I know. Well, I was about to say that in relationship to Camille, because I got a very special gift in the mail. And it was a charcuterie board that Greg made himself. Mm-hmm. And that's something that he's been doing. I don't know if you've probably seen it. It's a Project G workshop. Is that right?
That is correct.
That is correct. And he's making some amazing things. And it came in the mail, though. So Camille happened to not be here when it came.
I know. I was very upset. Well, not upset. I was very worried. You sent me the picture and I was like, uh-oh.
I just thought you were sending it to me out of the kindness of your own heart. And then Camille got home and was like, oh, that was supposed to be a birthday present. It's like, oh. It's a very nice present, though. I guess, but she was, had a plan. She was going to do a whole like charcuterie spread and gift that to me. And
you screwed it up. You screwed the pooch.
I did that for my wife for her birthday, and it was fantastic. So just picture that. Just was filled with all the.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be great. I don't really think I'm missing much by the surprise aspect being taken out. It's going to be good. But yeah, that was nice. That was supposed to be a birthday present. I got like a week or so to my birthday, something like that.
Your birthday is when? The
24th.
24th.
Yeah. So that was interesting. That was cool. And so since it's Valentine's Day, we made a last minute decision to change our topic. We changed our topic to what is it? Greatest love songs or favorite?
I think it's just favorite.
Favorite
love songs.
We're leaning towards like favorites lately, I guess, because it's a little bit more easy.
Yeah, it's always tough to say which direction to go, whether we start making it a little more of a debate or just make it everybody kind of saying what they like. But
it's our sexiest episode ever.
Yeah, it really is.
Let's all take our shirts off.
Okay. Oh, no.
You guys are doing physical motions to remove your shirts, but usually I just flex and it explodes off.
Oh, sorry, Hulkster mode. Just
right.
Regular Hulkamaniac over there.
A real Hulkamaniac. Have fun with my family and my friends.
I'll see you again.
I think we're going 6 episodes in a row that we mention Hulkster in heaven.
Keep it going.
Oh, can we just have an episode just devoted to that album, please?
I would love to.
Or the Randy Savage one. I just want to deep dive into an album like that and just all the little Easter eggs.
The Hulk Hogan one?
Any album that's that ridiculous, I want to do a deep dive into what makes it what it is. Probably the
I'm
Hulk Hogan
totally,
one. That one, whatever album you can think of that you feel the most like a deer in headlights when you first hear it. That's the album for me. That would be it. But I don't want to just say that one. I want to keep it open for anything else.
No, I think that's the one. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the one that we all need to break down.
yeah, I don't know. Greg, I feel like Greg doesn't like the deep dives into silly wrestling.
No, I
music.
do. It's just you guys are so much more passionate about it than me.
That's so ridiculous.
So
Just think of this.
it's like one of those things where like if you guys start going on a tangent and in a group text and I wake up to 47 messages, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm just gonna okay, you guys had your fun.
Yeah.
My favorite moment with that record, from picking it or picking a song off that record was I heard like the third track and I go, wow, this just sounds like he's rapping over a Sega Genesis song, like a Sonic the Hedgehog song. And then when I went through the Wikipedia 2 or 3 days later, I found out that the music was from Sonic CD.
He actually was rapping over a Sonic the Hedgehog song.
He actually was rapping over Sonic the Hedgehog. So the back of my brain, it remembered when I was like, 9 or 10 years old playing this game, and that this was the song from that game. Lo and behold.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. So they sampled Sonic the Hedgehog music.
You just took it. Yeah, it's just the same song, Sonic CD.
So they didn't sample it. They didn't.
It's just like playing like the full track.
Yeah,
He's just rapping over a Sonic the Hedgehog track, and
that'd be like if Taking Back Sunday had an album and the background track was dun 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 dun. Why can't I feel anything for?
Can't anyone will you?
I don't know.
Have you been listening in on our writing sessions?
Yes.
You're spoiling the surprise for everybody.
Oh man. All right.
Well, who wants to be the first to talk
I'll
about
go first. I'll get it out of the way. So it's a special Valentine's Day episode. If you got to hear this, we're talking about our favorite love songs, our favorite romantic songs. I think there's only one correct answer to this question, and it's "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" by Poison. Yep. "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" by Poison, no question. And before I elaborate on why this is the best love song of all time, are you guys familiar with the phenomenon of couples skate?
Yes.
Who on the call is familiar with the phenomenon of couples skate?
Okay. Yes, I love the couple skate. I remember that was a staple of junior high parties.
Yep.
All parties at the roller skating rink.
Absolutely. I swear up and down to this day that "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" is the greatest couple skate song of all time. And I remember when I was a kid, every Friday night, well, if I was lucky, I would, on a Friday night, I would get to go to Manny's roller rink in Beaumont, Texas. And I would usually go with my friend Derek Strickland. And we were, we were young. We were probably, 8 or 9. So we were super young. So this is when we were just kind of into girls, but not like, still girls are yicky, let's go play asteroids. But in the back of our head, we're like, I wish a girl would ask us to couple skate. And I'll never forget, man. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was one Friday night. I was at Manny's roller rink in Beaumont, Texas with Derek Strickland. And we had it up to here because no girl had ever asked us to couple skate. And "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" came on, and the lights kind of get down and they hit those spotlights on the roller skating ring, and everybody's kind of making their way out to the roller rink. These little stars don't sleep in the dead of the night. And we're like, oh man. And Derek and I are kind of looking around, and all the girls are making their way onto the rink, and none of them are picking us. And man, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like it was a movie. Derek looks at me and he puts his arm out like this, and I look at Derek and I grab his hand, and him and I start skating around the ring to "Every Rose Has Its Thorn."
Nice.
And I'll never forget, man. I look over to the door, and Derek's dad walks in, and he looks at us. And this was at the age where we were still, like, we weren't young enough to know what being gay was. So we didn't think it was, like, we didn't understand that it was weird. We just thought we were, like, two friends, not being gay is weird, but we just thought we were two friends kind of skating around the ring.
Yeah.
And I made eye contact with Derek's dad, and he just goes, and I'll never forget, man. To this day, it was my greatest and my only couple skate memory. So
I'm sure back then that kind of lifestyle in Beaumont, Texas wasn't
Yeah.
welcome.
I don't know. I didn't even know what it was at that point. So
He
I
was
just
probably
thought
just
it
shaking his
was
head
just two
because
friends.
it was funny. You guys were being silly billies.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we both knew that it was not. Yeah, like I think we both kind of knew that we probably should be doing this with a girl, but it was like, hey, just two friends
Yeah.
skating to. We both like this song. We both like skating. I mean, that's 2 for 2. Might as well get out on the rink.
That's
So
beautiful. That's a beautiful moment, you know. You
Yeah.
had a beautiful shared moment with your friend, you know.
yeah.
Did
I
you
wanted
did
to
you
tear
do
us up.
did you do any necking in the back seat on the way home?
No, but after the skate, we played asteroids and ate some nerds.
Okay.
Just a couple nerds eating nerds, doing some nerd shit.
Nice.
Manning's roller rink was where it's at, but yeah, I still think to this day that Every Rose Has Its Thorn is the greatest couple skate song of all time. And if you're listening to this, I was going to say, I know you're probably not going to be listening to this on Valentine's Day because we downloaded it on Monday. But for next year, something fun that you can do with your significant other, take him out to a roller skating ring. It'll be a fun retro throwback idea. They'll probably play Every Rose Has Its Thorn. You can couple skate to that, and you'll look clever. It'll be a clever date idea. So if you're listening to this, that's something fun you can do next year as a Valentine's Day. Did you guys ever couple skate I've never couple skated with a real girl. Have you guys ever done that?
My first girlfriend, Debbie, we went to Roller World on Route 1 in Saugus, and we probably went there 5 or 6 times. Every date was at the same place. And my mom would just hang out with her dad and watch us roller skate. And I think I got my first kiss there, I'm pretty sure. Or I'm mixing that up with a memory from like a movie, but I don't fully remember. I was so young. But I just know that we went to the same place like every
That
time.
reminds me. Oh, never mind.
Like
I was going to say my first date was when I defeated 3 supervillains at my Fortress of Solitude. Oh, wait a minute. I'm confusing that with Superman 2. That wasn't my first date.
I think I got like a kiss on the cheek. I think, but I do know that we went to Roller World obnoxiously, like so many times. But it wasn't the end of the world because they had Mortal Kombat 3 and Tekken, and we had a lot of great games in there.
But did you couple skate?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was they mostly played 90s like R&B and hip hop. And I don't remember hearing Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
That's why you're not together to this
That's
day.
why we're not together to this day.
I think the only time I think I did it, I was probably like in high school and like when I actually had a girlfriend at that point. Like my first girlfriend wasn't till high school. And I think that was probably the first time I did it, which is way too late, I feel like. And even by that time, it's sort of like almost like a novelty. You're doing it kind of like, oh, isn't this funny? We're couple skating. But like in junior high and younger, I feel like it's a real serious thing, you know. And
Yeah,
I never did at that time when it would really mean something that you got asked to couple skate or you asked somebody and they said yes. So it's one of my great regrets in life.
I think there was a place near where I grew up. If there's anyone from Long Island listening, you might be able to correct me, but there was the Adidas flea market in Sayville, on Sunrise Highway. But next to it, there was a skating rink, I think. I think it was called Hot Skate.
Hot Skates was a popular Long Island chain. I think that there was a lot of them.
Was there?
Yeah, because I went to Hot Skates too, and I did not live near you. And so I think there was
Well, there was a Hot Skate in like Limbrook, maybe, like out that way.
That sounds right.
But the one that was near this flea market I would go to, like also the flea market on Long Island, Mike, I know you laughed when I said that, but flea markets are pretty big on Long Island back then.
It just seems like an odd date spot. It
wasn't a date spot, but I'm saying that the roller skating rink was next to the flea market. We would go there a lot for like school trips, but we were more of like the barrel jumping crowd as opposed to couple skates. You know, when they would bring the barrels out to the rink and you'd have to
No, I've never seen that before.
You've never seen barrel jumping with roller skating?
No.
Wait,
You
like
have to go on a YouTube like
How many
You
kids
would
play
like that.
next?
you
so
would
you,
do
you you skate around like as fast as you can to get speed, and the roller rink like employees, they would have these barrels that they'd line up. They'd start with one, you go through, people would jump it, then they go to two, you jump it, and you keep increasing the barrels until you can't jump them.
This sounds
Is
like
there
the
a
ambulance.
ramp?
This
Is
sounds
there
like
a
an
ramp?
ambulance jumping
No,
crowd.
no,
Oh,
you
you're
just
using
go
your leg muscles. You're just
you're
using your
using-
leg muscles.
leg muscles. Yeah, to just free jump. Just
What?
yeah.
Do they light any hoops on fire too?
I
No.
never saw that at a roller skating rink.
Wow.
Sounds crazy. I mean, that sounds like something that would never fly today too, because I mean, people had to
Oh,
be getting hurt all the time.
They weren't like
Never
old
fly
like
in my town.
they weren't like wooden like wine barrels or anything. They were probably I think they were probably like plastic or some kind of like softer material.
How tall were they though?
Like a regular barrel. Like you wouldn't jump the height of it, it would be on its side.
What
Okay.
caliber cannon did they shoot you out of?
That's
So we also had a
hilarious.
lot of ice skating places on Long Island too, because like kids, there was a lot of ice hockey being played. There was a place called Sports Plus
Mhm.
that had an ice skating rink, and there was another one somewhere else. I don't remember. We were more of an ice skating crowd. We would do that a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a competent ice skater?
No, we did a school field trip in 6th grade, and I fell and split my lip open and had to get stitches.
Oh
So-
Jesus.
That's what that's from.
Yeah, I know, right here. Little,
I actually never
little
noticed.
hook.
Never noticed.
The first time I went ice skating since then was actually with Joe and his wife and my fiance Nicole. We went uptown Charlotte, and that was
And the Grinch bitched you out.
and the Grinch totally pushed me out.
What?
Why? What did
I
you
don't know what
do?
he did. He said something, and Greg was gonna have this like comeback, and Greg just froze up and just like, and
Yeah,
then
I just
walked away. It was so
it burned
good.
me pretty good, and I thought I had a great comeback, and I just couldn't get it out. And I
It
just
was so good. It was so good. 'Cause you're really quick with the comeback, so it's really
Eh. What? No, but seriously, what did the Grinch bitch you out for? What was what?
I'll have to remember. He probably like made fun of my scarf or something like that, or
Oh
it might
Jesus.
have been the beard. I'm not sure. I had a really intense beard then.
When you say the Grinch, you say that like that's just a thing that you go to the ice skating rink and the Grinch.
Oh no, this was the Christmas ice skating rink uptown. So like Santa was there,
Grinch.
and there was a guy dressed as the Grinch. Not like
Great Grinch.
Okay.
John brings up a fantastic point. The Grinch is not a real thing. So we
Correct.
should all be surprised when the Grinch appears.
Yeah, there
That's
was
like
no
when you see a
context.
movie. That's like when you're watching a horror movie and like a dinosaur appears and nobody's like, holy fuck, that's a fucking dinosaur. Everybody's just like, oh, we should probably run away from this. Like nobody spends the time to freak out that there's a man with a glove full of knives on his hand. They just kind of, I don't know. That was a relevant tangent. But if I would have saw the Grinch, the first thing I would have done was freaked out. and then got into a cut down fight with him. Where's
My
Nick
favorite
Cannon? Where's Nick Cannon when you need him?
so. My favorite love song
Yeah.
is it came out in 1966.
Mhm.
It's also probably my favorite song by the Beach Boys, and it's "Wouldn't It Be Nice."
Oh.
It's poppy. It has very complex harmonies. The story is great. Just these two youngsters just daydreaming about being together. There was a weird, creepy fact about the song I'd like to read that kind of caught me off guard.
Oh, really?
It was written by Brian Wilson and Tony Asher.
Mhm.
In Brian Wilson's memoir, he said he wrote the song after having sexual fantasies about the Honey singer Diane Rovell, who is also his sister-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing weird about that.
Nope.
Man.
It's just one of like the happier songs that I like about them. It fits perfect too on the album as a whole. 'Cause that album is pretty. It's a great story from beginning to end.
That's Pet Sounds, right?
Correct.
Wait, so he did. did he, or did you know, did he write it about his sister-in-law, or was he just sort of inspired and then kind of, because it does seem like
He was inspired. He was inspired by his sexual fantasies of his sister-in-law to
It
write this
didn't get
song.
better.
And then the other guy, Tony Asher, is quoted as saying that Wilson was definitely infatuated by her and this innocent aura that she seemed to possess. Brian was just so naive.
A real Star Wars thing going on.
And then he'd stop in the middle of writing a song, a conversation, or whatever, and start going on about Diane, about how innocent, sweet, and beautiful she was. And I'd be thinking, huh, your wife's in the next room, and you're talking about her sister.
That's hilarious. That's something that you don't have to put in the book. Like whenever the guy's interviewing you and he's like, what was your inspiration for this song? You could just be like, hey, it's this girl from Canada. You don't know her. Like you don't have to say that it was your sister-in-law or whoever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Another interesting fact about that song is that it was Brian Wilson originally wanted to call it "Wouldn't It Be Nice If I Could Sleep with My Sister-in-Law."
I've got a few titles. I want to run them by you guys.
The song is a ruin for me.
That's one album like
if we weren't related.
Like that's definitely like an album I've been wanting to bring to Woods of Old, but I just never had the guts to do it.
That's a good one for that. I feel like it's pretty feel-good-y. Like there's nothing that's really that dark or weird.
There's a couple, like lyrically, there's a couple of dark songs.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. I Wasn't Meant for These Times. Is that on that one?
Yeah, that one's.
I see that going around.
It's a little sad.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I mean, it's a great album. But that song is like, yeah, it also just brings me back to like the whole. I've mentioned it before, like my father's one. We would just listen to Beach Boys records and stuff like that. So it kind of nostalgia there.
Yeah.
I liked the Beach Boys before John Stamos joined.
That's just
wait. Did he really join the Beach Boys? Really?
He was around the Kokomo era, I think.
Yeah.
John Stamos wasn't he in the music video for that?
Yeah, he was playing the
really?
bongos. He was playing the drums.
He actually joined, or are you just joking because
No
these boys
way.
on Full House?
He's like a unofficial member probably for that episode or whatever.
I think he was just like friendly with them maybe, and
Oh
was
yeah.
in their
They
music.
did drugs together.
Like how Donald Trump is in the WWF Hall of Fame. The same kind of thing.
Very similar to that.
All right. Okay.
He occasionally performed dating back to '85 with the Beach Boys.
Oh, he actually played on stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, not helping me with the Beach Boys. Not helping me with them. I'm not gonna go on the rabbit hole of the Beach Boys this weekend.
I was always a huge Beatles fan pre Bob Saget. After that, I was done.
Yeah. Once Saget joined the Beatles, fast.
A lot of people call him the sixth Beatle.
Apparently, John Stamos also did a couple of drive-in shows this past October with the Beach Boys.
Wow, he's still doing it, huh? No idea.
I don't get the whole hubbub about John Stamos. People.
He's handsome.
Not a bad looking guy.
He's handsome on like a Clooney, George
Charismatic gent.
No, I think he's handsome on a level like George Clooney handsome. I think he's on that level.
I don't think he is.
Really?
I think
Yeah,
he is.
I don't know if he's Clooney level. Although I think Clooney gets a little more handsome because of his like Clooney's so much more like respectable.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's
There's something about Stamos that just seems a little slimy to me.
Really?
really. I never got that.
So Stamos, if you're watching this,
I think we just lost a listener.
damn.
I don't know if it's because of like the Full House thing, like how they portrayed him there, or like that where he got his fandom from. But I'm not a fan. I don't like John Stamos.
We never discussed Jesse and the Rippers on our fictional band episode.
I didn't even know that was a band.
You didn't?
Oh no,
It got
no,
brought
I
up on
wasn't
my
a Full House
Facebook.
guy.
Brought it up.
I
You're
wasn't a
not
Full House
watching
guy.
Full House.
Did they have any songs that they did on the show?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember what they were about or the titles or anything, but yeah, they performed on the show. And isn't that, I think, did the Beach Boys perform with Jesse and the
They
Rippers?
like are the Rippers,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
or they did with them.
Yeah. But that was like Mike Love era Beach Boys. So like I feel like there was this point where like when Brian Wilson wasn't really doing much with them, and then like Mike Love took over, and that was what led to Kokomo and you know, this kind of real cheesy era of the Beach Boys.
I didn't like that. Like, what was it? Who else was that other? I don't know. There's
In the
someone.
Beach
Dave
Boys?
Coulier. Like, I don't like him either. The other guy.
What do you
Just have an
what are
episode
your
of
thoughts
just
on the Olsen
every-
twins?
Yeah.
What are your
I
thoughts
love
on
the
that?
Olsen twins and their other sister, Elizabeth.
She's having a moment.
Mhm.
She's having a great moment.
everyone came back for Fuller House except for the Olsens, and
Right.
on Fuller House they call them out. They like all look at the camera and break the fourth wall
Mhm.
to let the Olsen twins know that they should have been here.
Right.
This reunion Netflix series. Oh, I fucking lost it when that happened. Haven't forgiven them yet. I'm still waiting for my Punky Brewster reunion, so until that happens, I'll never rest.
I don't like that John Stamos killed that dog.
What?
He murdered a dog in real
He
life.
murdered a dog on the set of Full House.
What are you talking about?
I think you're thinking of Three Men and a Baby, where there's like a ghost.
Right off
in
the-
the- I think, is that what you're thinking of?
You're thinking of
Three
Michael.
Men and a dead dog.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Michael Vick.
It's a terrible name.
Or that baseball player with the cat.
Oh, Kevin Mitchell. Oh man.
So
Anyway,
listen, so this is we almost had another agreed upon selection. And when you said Beach Boys, I thought we were going to go down the same path, but we went down slightly different roads because I was just reading about it today. So my pick was God Only Knows
Yeah.
by the Beach Boys, which I'm pretty sure I read today was it was the B-side to Wouldn't It Be Nice. So we were on a very similar trajectory here.
Mm-hmm. Is it a B-side or is it on the album?
Well, no, it's on the album, but like the single, I think they released this.
Oh, okay.
so is this one, since it's a B-side, would that make this one be more about a step cousin of his that he had an infatuation with, or?
Wouldn't it be nice if I could sleep with my step cousin?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice? if
God
you-
only
You
knows.
guys are writing this down. It's like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, but I might be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I read that, but I think it was like, they used to release a single to radio, like a
Right.
a 7-inch or whatever, and they were both on the same record, and and obviously both on Pet Sounds. But I was revisiting the song last night because I had a few things in mind, and it was tough to decide, but I think what really sells that one is like how, they open up the song with I may not always love you.
Mhm.
It's the first thing they say in the song. And then like they pretty quickly kind of like walk it back, like, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. But it really it's weird because it's gives you kind of an uneasy feeling, or that you're not really sure where this guy's coming from. And then, of course, they go right into the chorus of God Only Knows What I'd Be Without You. And then you kind of forget about any doubts you had about the negative aspect of how they started the song. But I think that's pretty fascinating to me as a songwriter, to kick things off with a slightly negative kind of weird note. It's interesting. And so yeah, that was a big thing to me. I was listening to some other love songs, and it's always tough. I feel like there's a fine line that everybody has to walk with a love song, where if you get too overly sentimental, too overly sappy, you can just ruin it.
Oh yeah.
But then if it's too cynical and not emotional enough, or not sappy enough, maybe even, you're also missing the mark on that. So it's a fine line that everybody's walking with these
Right.
love songs.
That was a close second for me.
Yeah,
Song.
and I was actually thinking about your pick as well. That was up for grabs to me.
Yeah, I remember last spring, during like the whole quarantine, Nicole and I were just outside, and I put that record on, and that song came on. I was like, "Oh, it's a great song," and then she hears the first line, and she's like, "Why is this great?" I was like, "I don't know, just fine."
Yeah, I mean, like I think that I mean, it's a beautiful song, like musically, but and then I don't think there's much else in the song that's negative other than that first line, but it's really an interesting thing how that puts this undercurrent of like doubt into the whole thing. It's and But I don't feel like it's meant to be anything less than a genuine love song. But I think there's also something that makes it a little more real about expressing some level of like doubt in it.
There's a pretty significant like "fuck you" in the song, which I always thought was funny. It's like, if you should ever leave me, well, life would still go on. Believe me.
Yeah, pretty salty. Little dash of salt right there.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
But then he follows it up with, "The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me?"
Yeah. So then you're like, oh, well,
Not a big fuck you.
okay, well, so he doesn't want to live without this person.
Right.
But he could, I guess.
Yeah, very interesting.
And much like our guest Fairview last week, their love song goes the opposite way. They start out great, and then by the end of the song, you're like, I'm not sure if they're gonna make it.
Yeah.
No, I was pretty sure by the second verse that they were done.
You knew it.
I think it's so interesting. I never got into the Beach Boys, so maybe that's something I need to get into and revisit. My dad, like your dad, was a huge fan of the Beach Boys, but I never got into the Beach Boys. But it's so fascinating to me that when we listen to a Beach Boys song, it's kind of fun to reflect on a time long gone. But it's so interesting to think that when that music came out, it wasn't a time long gone. That's how things were. You're driving to a soda shop and you're having a malt with your girlfriend. That's how things were. It's so fun for us to imagine the nostalgia of what that might have been. But at that time, that was a real thing. I just think that's interesting. That's so interesting to me. I can never imagine something like that happening these days. And it's just so cool that that's how things were back in those days.
I tried to go down a Beach Boys like rabbit hole probably about a year and a half ago, and I just remember whatever playlist I picked, every single song was about surfing. And I was just getting so bummed. I was like, I don't get it. Like, because I didn't grow up listening to the Beach Boys. They weren't on my radar when I was a kid. So I was like, I know this is one of the greatest bands of all time. I need to do my homework. I need to listen to more Beach Boys. I just have to do that for myself. And I just remember I picked whatever playlist I picked, it was the wrong one.
Well, I really think with them, a big thing is Pet Sounds, that album, and then anything right around there, like the one like right after it and maybe like a couple before it, they really hit some kind of artistic peak there. But then everything before it and a lot of stuff after it, I don't know how much is worth listening to.
I think it's called Acid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And being friends with Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Were they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson was.
Jeez.
And that makes anybody's music better.
Yeah.
That's
All
why
right.
I was trying to strike up a relationship with it for years.
Anyway, speaking
my
of
musical output.
no, all right, my pick. If we were going with, more like traditional love songs that are like pretty well known, I would have gone with "You Send Me" by Sam Cooke. But I decided to go with a love song that's like, what's the most meaningful love song in my life, personally, on a personal level, and it is "Sweet Avenue" by a band called Jets to Brazil. It was my first pick for my wife and I's song to dance to at our wedding. It didn't become the song that we danced to, but it was like my first without having to think about it. I was like, oh, that song, definitely. It just reminds me of what I find beautiful about being in love and sharing your life with another person. It's got a lot of awkwardness, honesty. It just really paints a picture, and it's just pure poetry. And it's the singer Blake Schwarzenbach, is a English teacher at Hunter College in New York City. So it makes sense that he's on this level of lyricism that, for me as a songwriter, I only can dream of reaching. But a lot of my favorite lyricists happen to be English teachers. But yeah, it's a beautiful song. It's called "Sweet Avenue." I think it might be named after a bakery. I found a bakery called Sweet Avenue Bake Shop when I looked up the name, when I was looking for the lyrics, in Rutherford, New Jersey. I hope it has something to do with that bakery. I don't know.
Are they from? Where are they from?
New York City. They formed. And
gone to Rutherford, I guess.
Yeah, and if you don't know Jets of Brazil, it's got members of Jawbreaker. He's got two other bands. The singer of Jets of Brazil has had Thorns of Life and this band called the Forgetters. But let me see. Oh, I found out about them in 2011. My band was on tour with I'm the Avalanche, and Mike Ireland from that band showed me. I want to say he showed me Jets to Brazil, but he talked about them a lot. Where I knew who they were. I've heard a few Jets to Brazil songs, but they weren't really on my radar until talking to Mike Ireland, which I'm so happy I had those talks with him. Like,
oh wow, you got to talk to him.
No. A musician that I was on the road with got me into them.
Gotcha.
He was like, "This is my favorite band. This is why they're the greatest band." He was just like such a huge fan of Jets to Brazil that he got me hyped. So he sold me on this band, and they've been one of my favorites ever since. I put him right there with John K. Sampson from the Weaker Thans. Those are like my two favorite lyricists. If I would have just reading them straight through, not even listening to the music. Visually stunning. Some lines I copied and pasted into my little document that I use. It says, "Holding you, we make two spoons beneath an April moon. Everything is soft and sweet." Just a lot of visuals, awkward visuals. And then he says, "The cigarette, it could seduce a nation with its smoke." He's got another line that says, "Budding at my fingertips, touching you, I start to bloom." So it's getting a little sexual, but still very poetic. And I love this song because there's a lot of fun happening in the rhyme schemes. He says, "Scratching part of me that's purring, softly stirring." It's almost like it sounds like it's the night before Christmas. Like he gets on these little rhyme schemes that a lot of songwriters that I listen to don't do. They don't say things like this. Soft and sweet along your lips now. I go, oh wow, like quote, like he's having fun. You can tell this guy has fun when he's writing his songs, and he puts these goofy little silly things in there that completely take you by surprise, which I really appreciate. And then the last line of the song, which to me is the most meaningful. He says, "Now that all my tastes improve through the view that comes with you, like they handed me my life for the first time, it felt worth it, like I deserved it." And I think it's just such a beautiful thing to go through your life thinking like, how am I ever going to find anyone? Like not kind of knowing where you are, and then finding someone and just feeling so thankful for being in that relationship. And that's what this song reminds me of. It reminds me of being thankful that I found someone like Amanda, and I have a lot of yeah, just a lot of beautiful things about love in general. And then the end of the song just goes off on this riff, and the drums just ride out. And it actually reminded me of that Randy Newman song, "Old Kentucky Home," where in that song, I said on the first, we haven't aired the podcast, but the very first, one of the very first versions of this podcast, we talked about that song and just how certain riffs and certain like jam parts of songs you can almost picture where the song is without the singer there anymore. Like you're not singing, you're not saying anything with your words, but because of what was said before that part, it almost creates, like, at least for me, as a listener, like a visual of like where the setting is for the song. And I think that's so magical, and I can't even describe how that works in the brain. But when I hear a part like that, I really appreciate it. And this song has like one of my favorites. So that's my pick.
Great.
That's a cool thing. It's almost like the singer has like set the stage, and then they just kind of back off.
Yeah.
And then let you watch it play out.
Except in that Randy Newman song, I said it was definitely, if you read the lyrics to that song, it's not a love song. It's a dysfunctional family song, and the ride out with the guitar and the drums and just the band jamming. The only thing that could be happening based on the lyrics is the character in the song is just shooting birds off telephone wires.
I remember you talking about that. That was a fun episode.
It's very like a Looney Tunes. The song reminds me of like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, I remember. Oh man, we'll have to release that. So what was the song that you and Amanda ended up going with?
I'll Catch You by the Get Up Kids.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I know that song.
That's a great love song. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's a real good one. And also probably a little better for dancing, I guess, or like slow dancing, right?
My song is 5 minutes and 16 seconds, and it's really wordy. It's got a lot of words in it, and I can see why it didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
But I love Jets to Brazil. I love them because they do have the catchy like indie songs that you want to hear in a band like that, but so much of it is just trying to write good songs and not rely on being catchy. And that's what I really appreciate about this band is they're not the catchiest indie band, but man, do they hit all the right feels at the right time. And they got some songs that I just love. I just think they're one of the best of all time, and they're one of my favorites for sure.
Very nice. Very nice. I wanted to go back real quick to Every Rose Has Its Thorn, because I wanted to ask about this, because I don't know all the words to the verses, but I always felt like it was kind of a breakup song. Is it a little bit like, it's not maybe a love song in the traditional sense?
No, it's 100% a breakup song, but it got reappropriated.
Okay.
At the time that it came out, it's 100% a breakup song.
But then became the
kind of like Patience. Kind of like Patience. I feel like Patience by Guns N' Roses is the same kind of thing. It's about a couple that doesn't quite work out, but it became a song for couples because it sounds like it probably should be.
It's like, hey, stay a couple or else you'll end up like this song.
I think so. It was like negative reinforcement. Don't do this.
Don't do it.
Man, I remember when Every Rose Has Its Thorn came out, I was like 8 or 9. So I was just now kind of like, I think girls are something I'm supposed to like. So I would listen to the radio and I would always hear dedications to this one comes out to Jimmy from Bethany, from Beaumont to Houston. Every rose has its thorn. And that used to be the number one. That and Glory of Love from Karate Kid 2 were the two big dedications. But I always remember, man. And yeah, every Friday night at Manny's Roller Rink, that was the one that they would close out couples skate with, was Every Rose Has Its Thorn. But you're right. It's a breakup song.
This song is about spitting facts. If you read the lyrics, this song
is about Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Yeah. I can say them to you right now. Like, we both lie a silent sleep in the dead of the night. Although we both lie close together, we're miles apart inside. Was it something I said? Was it something I did? The words don't come out right, which is the story of my life. I tried not to hurt you, although I tried, but I guess that's why they say every rose has its thorn. And if you were Miley Cyrus, you'd be like, every rose, every rose, every rose.
My lighter. I can't find my lighter fast enough.
I know, I'm so bummed.
But yeah, every night has its dawn.
Yeah.
We all know that every night does have its dawn, and we all know, of course, every cowboy sings his sad song. Everyone. If you've met one cowboy who doesn't sing his sad song, that man is not a cowboy.
John Marston from Red Dead Redemption, sad song. Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, sad song. These are both cowboys.
All the characters I can't remember from that Nickelodeon show, Hey Dude, all had sad songs.
You're talking about Brad. You're talking about Melody.
No, yeah, sad song. They all had one. And if you don't have one, you're not a cowboy. You eat beef jerky, you have a sad song.
But yeah, that was a great song. And that was like, and just to expand on that, and then we can move on to a different subject. But a few years later, their follow-up album, they had a song called Something to Believe In. And there's a verse in that song that I always thought was funny. He was singing, it's not funny, but he's singing about his friend who just came back from Vietnam. And the verse is, the bullets took his best friend in Saigon. The lawyers took his wife and kids. No regrets. And I'm like, you know what? I bet he probably had some regrets. I think there were probably some regrets in there. I don't know if I would go no regrets. I'm sure he's been mulling that over. Many sleepless nights. I don't know if I'd push my chips in on no regrets on that one.
You'd have to be like a Tom, you'd have to be a robot to have no regrets. A life story like that.
Yeah.
That's all I got. But to circle back, your point is valid. It's a breakup song. It's not a.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to critique it. I just was curious because I don't know all the words that well, and I always just had a vague idea of what it was about. So I wanted to.
You bring up a fantastic point. I don't know how we're doing on time, so you might want to edit this out. But I'm fascinated. I am fascinated by couples. And Greg, you can chime in as much as you want or don't want to on this. But I'm always fascinated on couples that choose songs like that as their song. For example, like the couple that will choose Crazy Bitch as their first dance song, or the couple that will choose Only God Knows Why by Kid Rock or something as their first dance at their wedding. That's always fascinated me, but it's one of those things where I guess you have a moment in your life and maybe there's a song playing and you connect that song to that moment and you can't help what that song is. So it turns out that Only God Knows Why by Kid Rock is your first dance at your wedding.
My high school girlfriend and I, now you're saying like first dance or just like how couples decide their song?
Yeah, couples that
we loved, my high school girlfriend and I, It's My Life by Bon Jovi.
All right.
It's so bad, but Tommy and Gina couldn't back down.
No,
and if they couldn't back down,
by the time that song came out,
they couldn't back down. So
you guys really saw yourselves in Tommy.
Yeah, we sure as heck did.
Yeah, my song with my girlfriend in high school was Nothing Else Matters by Metallica.
That's the perfect example. That's the perfect example of what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it is a love song, but it's a Metallica love song. So it's like, it felt cool.
And with the group text, I think last week maybe, I mentioned Richard Marx for some reason. And you guys were all like, well, why Richard Marx? I was like, well, I think it was like 4th or 5th grade. I wanted to ask a girl to dance. I called her and played Richard Marx Right Here Waiting for You before I actually got on the phone to ask her to the dance that she did say no to. So I'm here now.
Mr. Richard Mark.
Stop it.
Sorry.
I mean, that's a good love song too.
It
Wherever
is. Yeah.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you play the song on the phone to her, or did you play it like a pump up song for you?
no, I played it on the like to her over the phone.
Did you give her an introduction like, hey, I'm about to play a song, or did you have her get on the phone and it was just playing?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it was just playing.
Did you say, "Hey, this is Greg"? Did you start with that?
Oh no, like her
Did you
mom
ask her what her favorite scary movies were?
obviously like her mom answered the phone. I was like, oh, it's Greg, and then she picked up, and then you have Richard Marx soothing your ears,
she was probably a little confused.
or
Or
turned on to the point that she couldn't go to dance with me.
she was frightened.
I've been that turned on before. I couldn't go to the dance. So
Frightened. She was frightened by her attraction to you.
But when but when you're young and like in that weird time of your life, like you grasp at anything to try to be romantic because everything on TV and movies is so romanticized on how you should be. Like
And
look at
you don't know. You don't know.
and
What
then
to,
you and then
Yeah,
you
John
pull these,
Cusack.
and then
John
you pull
Cusack.
these and then you pull these shitty stunts that they do in the movies, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, well, fuck you, it didn't work. John Cusack, you're a liar. Or what's the Friday the 13th movie with Crispin Glover when she calls him a dead fish, and then she fucks him in the cabin, and he's like, "Oh, am I a dead fish?" He's like, "No," and then his self-esteem was back to normal.
Well, that wasn't necessarily anything proactive that Crispin Glover did. I don't think you can really incorporate that into your dating strategy.
No, but
So you're saying, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the way for me to get a girlfriend is to have sex with them and then afterwards ask them if I was a dead fish?
well, because in the car ride
No,
to
I
the
know.
cabin, yeah,
I think you left out a lot of steps.
I also think Crispin Glover was all of us.
Oh,
Like we weren't. He was the nervous, like buffoony guy in that movie.
yeah.
Like Mike, I'm sure you got all the chicks in elementary school and all that. You're
Most, not all, but most.
most.
Three fifths.
Yeah. Like I didn't. I wasn't as smooth as I am today.
it's hard to imagine.
I know. And Joe, I mean, Joe's.
I was the least smooth.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a real girlfriend till like college. I was not smooth. I think I was more obsessed with like video games and music that I just didn't. It wasn't even. It was like on my radar, but not enough. I was just like hanging out with my friends skateboarding. It wasn't like we'd have our friend group, and then there'd be like two girls in the friend group, and then all guys. And I was never the guy that would start dating one of those friends. I was just
Right.
the other guy there. And yeah, it wasn't until college really.
Yeah, and it was my senior year of high school was my first legit girlfriend.
Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school, which I felt like that was pretty late, like compared to a lot of my friends and people I knew. I felt like I was late to the girlfriend party.
It's a good party.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember feeling like once, like once I had a relationship in high school, it's like, all right, like I made it. I did it.
This is
Yeah.
it. This is it.
I'm a man now.
And the first breakup is just one of the most painful things you ever go through in your entire life at that point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my also, I realized pretty quickly that I guess I'm like a relationship guy because like my first girlfriend, it was like 3-4 years or something. Like
wow.
just immediately like all in.
Yep, same.
Through high school, after high school, and then when it ends, it's the worst. It's just.
It's like so devastating. Like your friends, like I remember my friend Mark was like, "Are you gonna be okay?"
Mhm.
He was like, he's like, you look paler than normal. Like it changed my whole my whole body. I had a breakup that was so bad, and I just remember, and this was again had a girlfriend when I was really young, and then nothing until college, and then I had most of my girlfriends were when I was in college or transit was a band, and then but yeah, I just remember never really feeling that from any breakup until one, and a friend pulling me aside like, I'm worried about you, and I can't imagine that in high school. It's got to be dangerous when you're in high school and go through that. Jesus.
The girl I dated went to a different high school. She was in a different school district, so that was helpful. Very helpful.
How long did you guys go out for before it made its fateful end?
Not long, maybe like a few months, 6
Oh,
months.
that's good. That's good. That's a
Yeah,
respectable.
for high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I know that. And then yeah. Look at us now.
It's a bunch of handsome gents.
Yeah.
All of us doing well except for this guy right here. He's probably gonna go drink a bottle of vodka with the lights turned out, listening to Bob Seger. Probably gonna have a conversation with my cat, doing both voices back and forth. I love you, Sammy. I love you too, Mike. You're my Valentine. It's probably what I'm gonna do later tonight. Just got a little sneak peek of that.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm gonna make us.
I don't know.
We have some extra salmon if you want to come over for dinner.
No, I'm not a big fish guy.
We're going back to this dead fish. I like it.
Man, Crispin Glover is great.
And that's where the episode ends. Just edit it right there.